Buddy. We're live. We're doing a vertical today. I thought I'd try this again. I think it's fun to do them once in a while. So here we are. I thought I'd come on and I want to talk about some stuff that's been on my mind, all things culty. And I've been doing a lot of streams about different cults, and I'm just seeing so many similarities. And I thought I would just come on here and say hi to you all, and we'll just have a little chit chat. I've actually got to leave the house in about an hour. I'm going to a gig that my son's doing up in the mountains, like the ski lodge area. So that should be really fun. So yeah, I've got a little time to spend with you all, and I want to talk about some things. And yeah, well, also, I'm not sure if I'll be on tomorrow morning. We've got this brunch to go to. Believe it or not, it's a Christmas party. My husband, a lot of you know Duncan. My husband works for he has a real estate broker, and it's kind of fun because they like to do their Christmas party after Christmas, and they say, bring all your like regifting things. So I'm gonna bring like some boxes of chocolates that we do not need to be eating. And yeah, some things laying around the house. I forgot what that's called, and some kind of gift giving thing, Yankee swap, something like that. But hey, Joel, yes, surprise live, here we are. I just couldn't get enough today. Now I had a little extra time. Duncan's going down to, I think he's taking pictures of a house that he's listing. So, hey, Hanley, good to see you. Oh, thank you, girl. Hey, everyone's here. Love it. Yeah, we're going out in a little while, but I thought I'd hang out. Earlier was crazy because like everybody was live. So if you haven't seen the stream that I did earlier, check it out. It's about a new cult that we're exploring. It's called The Ramp. It's new to me, but it's been around for a while, and oddly enough, it is so eerily similar to the cult that I was in, right down to having a woman as the leader. She came out of the charismatic movement as well as how Marlene did. Her name is Karen Wheaton, and she traveled and did a lot of singing engagements with the likes of Jim Baker, Jimmy Swagger, and Benny Hinn. So if you know any of those names, they were all televangelists. I don't think any of them are on TV anymore. Maybe Benny Hinn. Well, they all had some kind of scandal that happened. And it was very much, oh, hey, George. Oh, you don't have to be, thank you. I was worried about not having any mods, but thank you so much. I'm going to actually try to look this up on the computer as well. That way I can read your comments better. So that's always fun. Okay. I don't know if it's... One sec. I'm going to move the camera for 1 second. Okay. So it's on mute. Awesome. Cool. Here we are. Granny G, hi. Good to see you. Oh, Hef's here. Oh my God. Hef, I thought you were getting your hair done. I can't wait to... Oh, you made it home. Yay. Awesome. Well, Hef, you got to do a stream with me soon about this, because Hef actually has met the woman that I was talking about today that has that cult. And well, I'm calling it a cult. A lot of people are calling it a cult. And the internet seems to be flooded with so many accounts of the abuses that go on there. And I had like a list of things that this TikToker, his name is Joey Tribe or Tribe, I'm not sure, Trieb, and he's so funny, and he's young too. He's very young. He went to the Lamp Bible College, so to speak, and it was very much like what I experienced. And he has little clips of things that he talks about, different aspects of being at the cult and how he was treated. And it is so similar to not only my cult, but I saw some shades of what Scientology does, and they don't even claim to have a god or be really, I mean, they claim to be a religion. Not really sure how that works, but yeah. Hey, Linda Reese, good to see you. Thank you to all who are here. Lots of members here. Awesome, awesome. Gary Mackey, hey, good to see you. Glad you're here. I'm looking over here because it's just easier to see. I don't have any profound knowledge of her, but I have opinions. Well, hey, you have expert opinion because to me, because you lived it, you've been in it, you were in it for many, many years like me, and it is so strange, so uncanny, some of the overlap, like the language, not only from the Bible, but from the I don't know, just the folklore of it all, how they repeat so many phrases. Like this morning, I played those clips of them pleading the blood of Jesus. They're constantly talking about blood, which that whole emphasis on blood and death and everything, it's fine. If you're an adult and you believe that and that makes you feel good, makes you feel happy, that's fine. But when you have children that are sitting week after week in these pews and having to listen to this emphasis on blood and crucifixion and all the things, just death and sacrifice and everything. It's very traumatizing. At least it really was for me, you know. And I think that's just one aspect of my upbringing that has been really hard for me to get over because there's always this foreboding that hangs over my head of worrying about if I'm going to go to hell and worrying about the future, worrying about what if Marlene was right, what if all the preachers that I knew were right, So it can be really scary even now to me. I'm just scrolling down. I asked my uncle about her. He said, really? He said, false prophets, just another sign of the end times. I expected that. Is she saying she's a false prophet? Inquiring minds want to know. Hey, Asen, good to see you. Dark Rose Siren, glad you're here. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I'm interested if does he think she's a false prophet? Or are you a false prophet for asking? I don't know. Oh, he said she was. Interesting. Well, oh, we got trolls. This is so funny. That's all right. Bring them on. Bring them on. That's hilarious. Yeah, okay, whatever. This is wild. It's almost more fun to have like trolls you've never heard of because they're not connected to people that I used to have respect for. So it's great. It's like whatever. But yeah, I had this list of things I wanted to kind of run down and get your input about it and just kind of hang out for a few minutes. There seems to be such a trend, and I really want to do some comparisons. Like I said, I don't know what it is with my cult and so many cults with the female leaders. I wonder if there's some similarities. So I'm definitely going to kind of do a comparison and put that together and see where that goes. The trolls can't spell. That's right. It's funny. Wow. Sorry, guys. I can get rid of them too. Oh my God, this is funny. Yeah. So there's things that they hold in common. And I was just had this list of like, of course, the snitch culture. That's something that I really hated about being in Door of Hope. And I had so many eyes on me. And I remember like there was this older lady and she passed away several years ago. And I don't really want to say her name. I'll call her Tina. Okay. She she was older. She was like probably in her late six. Well, she's like in her 70s. I would say in her 70s. And I remember coming around the corner in one of the rooms at the inn that we stayed at. And I come around the corner and she'd be like whispering to Marlene and she would stop and look at me. And I knew she was talking about me. It was like you had all these people that were just constantly, you know, tattling on you and they would get approval from Marlene. They would they would go to her and be like, she'd pat them on the bed on the head and thank them for being, a loyal subject or a loyal servant. That she always called everybody servants, except for her. She was not a servant. Sounds more like a vampire cult. Yeah, all the emphasis on blood. Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm scrolling up a little bit so I can see some of your comments. Joel, George, I'll behave. You always behave. That's funny. Hey. Oh my God. Yeah, this is quite an experience. And I thought it was funny, but not what Joey, the YouTuber or the TikToker guy was saying about being fined for flirting. And that was actually in their handbook that they got when they went to this cool Bible college. And he was saying how like the purity culture and the guilt and just all of the control over even your own body and your emotions, it's so common because if they can get control of things that make you you, right? Your sexuality, your eating habits, your thinking, the way you think, what you do, where you go, how you speak, it's all there. They control your language. And it's something funny about being in a group. Like I'll say, just being in this whole space for a while, there seems to be some trends right now. There's some buzzwords. I'm not even going to say them because they they start to lose their meaning and they start to get twisted into something that really wasn't meant to be. So I just want to break away from all that. I'm just going to, just I don't know, march to the beat of my own drum, as they say, right? And if that means that I lose a lot of subscribers, if that means I lose viewers, it's okay because honestly, I'm not here to make money. I don't need to work on YouTube. And so I'm just me. It's just I'm just gonna take it wherever it goes because I just do it because I enjoy it and because also I really, really want to make a difference. And I'm just one person, and of course I have my husband and I have a few other people that have left my cult, but there's no support group for Door of Hopers. There's no X Door of Hope Facebook group. There's nothing like that because we were so small. But I have found such a kinship with so many of you. And so many of you can relate, even if you actually weren't in an actual full blown cult, you know. Oh, thanks everyone for smashing the like button. I think if you're on your phone when it's vertical like this, you can just tap twice on the phone and it likes it, and it kind of pushes out on the algorithm too, tells people that we are live. Aw, thank you, Linda. I love you guys. Thank you. Yeah, the forced fasting, I thought it was interesting what Joey said about that. He said that, they were expected to fast, but in a way it was forced because they they weren't able to go get a job and actually buy their own food. So if it wasn't provided, they didn't get to eat. And so it was something that was just, kind of torturous. And the same with us. It was like huge peer pressure. And I just remember like feeling like I couldn't function because after days of not eating, it was like you'd almost get this really weird high off of it. And I don't like it anymore. That's why I don't like fasting. But yeah, it was this really weird thing. And I'm the way Marlene would describe it was when you didn't eat, you'd get closer to God because your flesh, your physical body and its needs were being put aside, right? And so I used to think, well, why eat it all then? If you want to be closer to God, why don't you starve yourself and die and then you go to heaven? It really got to that point, guys, that I was like almost like wishing, like I was hoping I would just die, you know? And I never got to the point where I was really serious about unaliving myself. And I think it's because one big reason, honestly, I'll be honest, is that we were told that that was like one of the ultimate sins. So if you did that, you were definitely going to hell. It was a one-way ticket, do not pass go. So it was more like it was glorified that you would like even die for the cause, or that you would just suffer and suffer and suffer and suffer until God decided it was your time to come home, and then somehow the suffering would end. But another thing that Joey, the YouTuber, said about his call was that there was a huge emphasis on martyrdom, and that makes you devalue your life. And I've seen it in the Scientology doctrine or whatever too, is this idea of you just shed your body. Your body is just, they call it a meat body, right? So it doesn't really mean anything. It's not important, it's just not important. So it makes you devalue yourself, and like, why even be here? And as Joey, that we're talking about, said, a lot of young people would internalize that because it was constantly said, like, it's the biggest, it's the most like noble and honorable thing to basically die for the cause, and I see people just in cults, and even out of cults, just making sacrifices that they don't need to make, but they do because they're being coerced and being brainwashed. Hey, little me, good to see you. Awesome. I feel you there. Severely oppressed as a teen. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was awful. I mean, like I said, Jimmy Swagger ruined most of my teenage years. Not just him, but there was all these books that I was given, and even in the cult, there was one, and I hesitate to say this because I think some people really like her, but there's this author named Elizabeth Elliot, and she did a book called Passion and Purity, and that was like the Bible of like chastity for girls. And you just, couldn't even look at a guy. Like, it told the story of her and her husband, how they waited 5 years to get married, and how, like, they just, well, they were missionaries, and actually her husband ended up being unalived by, I think it was, let me think. Honey, are you there? I hear him on the other side of the door. Where was Elizabeth Elliot's husband killed? It was some country in South America, I remember. Yeah. And he was actually like stabbed by swords, like, or spears. Yeah. And it was, not too long ago. It was probably in the maybe 70s or 80s it happened. But yeah, his name was Jim Elliot. And you can actually look it up. I'm sure online. Asen, I love seeing you more centered and happy. There is a big difference between last week and this. Thank you, Asen. I appreciate that. And yeah, I feel it too. I really do. I feel just free to do what I want to do, to be myself. I mean, nobody was telling me what to do. I guess I just felt, compelled to always be focusing on the Scientology stuff and the community. And I feel like I'm free from that, and I also can be involved as much as I want to, and with who I want to be. So I love feeling like I'm not representing some umbrella, and I'm not even saying SPTV and in particular, but just having a group that I feel like I have to be careful to not offend. It's like, I'm me. This is what I want to do. I feel like, also, like I said, I didn't really feel totally ready to talk about everything that happened to me. And also, I didn't feel like it was that important, because it's like, it's not Scientology. So why even talk about it? Because we're in this space to expose the abuses of Scientology. But now I'm in my own space, and I can talk about other things, and I could talk about my own call, and I guess my own experiences are okay to talk about too. So yeah, I think I was hesitant because I feel like it wasn't really that important, but then I realized, like, not to minimize Scientology, but it is only 20 to 30,000 people. And like I said last week with that 2x2 call, which a lot of people had never heard of. I had never even heard of it till about 6 months ago. It's been around for over a century, and it has anywhere from 70,000 to 200,000 members. So, and there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. There's 1,000 people that came out and told their story and revealed that they had been abused. They reported the abuses to the authorities, and that's just only the ones that have reported it. And there's 800 plus alleged predators that are being investigated by the FBI. So it's just crazy. And I want to, like our friend Susie says, like every voice raises the volume. So I want to raise the volume on cults in general, as well as individual cults like Scientology, like Door of Hope, like 2x2 and Ramp, and all of them, because it feels almost like epidemic. It's just so prevalent, and it doesn't even count for the fact that there's so many others, like the MLMs, like the abusive relationships. There's just so many. Oh my God, thank you, Vintage Mama. I got a new cup. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining. That is awesome. Hey, Constance June. So liking the changes. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Yes. It does. Oh, what is happening? Happy you're like a weight lifted off. I do. I am. I'm. Oh my God. It was so rough the last couple weeks, and I didn't know what end was up. I was like, I don't want to react to everything. And I didn't understand why it was my problem. And then, guess what? I realized, guess what? It's not my problem. It's really not. Hey, Simone. Good to see you. Glad you're here. Glad to see everybody. Yeah, it's a nice feeling. And I don't think that I got caught up in things so much that I was like feeling like I was joining another cult, because I'm careful about that. I am, maybe it's behind the scenes, but I am feisty. I've always been a very feisty person. And so I've really learned my lesson about staying in something that doesn't feel right. And it doesn't even have to be a quote cult, but there's so many definitions of a cult. There's so many levels of things that can be a little bit culty. And just like I titled this, that's so culty. Hey. Jimmy Swagger, yes. What a stupid head. Yeah, he ruined my teenage years. Damn it. Asen, comment, between your two lives, I watched a 50-minute video about the Willis family. They were similar to the Duggars with abusive father and all. Never heard of them before. Dude used religion to suppress. Willis family, I'll have to look at that up. Can you message me, Asen, and remind me? Because I want to explore all the things. I really do. I just really want to get into it all, because I think that everything that we can expose is just another nail in the coffin of these cults. I think that really talking about the nitty gritty of what they do, whether it's any cult, whether it's a Christian cult or Buddhist or just an MLM, I don't even know what I would put Scientology in, like a UFO cult. I mean, what would you categorize Scientology as? Like, it's definitely a cult. It's not totally religion. It has so many similarities, honestly, to the what's that called? The one with the sneakers and stuff. Of course I know it. It's just slipping my mind right now. But yeah, Apple White. What was it? Somebody will get it. Somebody will tell me. Hold my bucket. Right there. Heaven's Gate. That's it. Oh my God. Thank you. It's that time. It's that time of day where I get a little bit cloudy. I get that brain fog, Give us all your money. Okay, George. That is so fun. Oh, thank you, Ace. And I just saw that she sent something to me. Awesome. Yeah, I will totally look into that. That sounds really good. Very, very interesting. So what else did I have? Yeah, very interesting that these these things that is on my list. I was like, it doesn't make sense that these these cults, quote, fundamental Christian circles, will talk about having mercy. They'll talk about being kind. They'll talk about the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But they don't do it. They don't do it. Like the way I was treated when I did get sick, it was like, you don't have enough faith. They would look at you like, ew, you're scum. And they would basically say like, pray like what Joey said is like, oh, pray for healing, but you need to function. You need to come to class anyways. You need to work. You need to keep going because it's your fault. If you don't have enough faith, you don't have enough faith to heal yourself or to believe that you're already healed. It would be like, you're already healed, and I'm like, I just took a culture at the doctor's and I have strep throat. I remember having like 103 fever and I was just treated like crap. It was awful. It was like anything that would have made me feel better. It's like they would do the opposite. And then they would tell you like you needed to thank them for it. It's just so gross. I don't get it. Because when I had my own kids, like my kids, I finally felt like I've said this before, that I had finally come home. But I also felt like, oh my God, I want to protect them at all costs. And they eventually were the reason that I left the cult. But yeah, I'm looking at my list. But then, I realized looking back, it was like justified. Everything was justified through the lens of, well, we're helping you. You're being broken, which is not a good word, I don't think, but supposedly it was a good thing in the cult. You're being broken so that God can, quote, use you. And when I think of it, it's like, that's terrible. Break somebody and then use them. That's not very nice, but it was supposedly a good thing. And I just remember just feeling so down on myself. And then as I started to break out of it, the funny, they talk about the scales falling off of your eyes. I don't even understand what that means. But when my eyes started getting opened and I still had to kind of conceal it. It was like being under the radar. Like we talk about the Scientologists that are under the radar. That's kind of how I felt because I started to mentally distance myself. Asen, the bias against people who don't believe in any religion is ever present. I often experience that it's equivalent to believing in Satan for some people. Yeah, it's true. No, it's totally true, Asen. That's a really good point because if I told my adopted sisters who are really major, what do you call, like true believers in Jesus and God and everything, if I even told them I had doubts that it was real, it would be like, oh my God. And they look at you like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like they would look at you in pity that you're going to hell and that you would burn forever and ever and ever and ever and ever in hellfire and judgment. So it's just awful. Hey, Monty's McMahon. Hey there. A lurker here from Australia. Awesome. Hey there. Glad you're here. I love seeing new people. And we talk about cults here over coffee. I still have a little bit of a good coffee. And if anybody would like to subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. It would be super awesome. Dale Daniel, what shoes are you wearing? I am wearing rainbow colored Crocs. And they're very comfy. That's a very different question. It's the funny thing about being on these vertical lives. You just get anybody and everybody coming in, but that's okay. I'm here for it. I just think it's really funny. We did have a couple of trolls, especially in the beginning. They were trying. Yes, black and white thinking. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to get rid of that. Yeah, thank you, Mischief Vanished. Oh, no, thank you, Giorgio. Giorgio did that. Very strange. Fetishes. It's okay though. I could use the good laugh. Just looking at my, yeah, the other thing was the forced labor. They would just, quote, use you. And you were supposed to be a good steward, a good and faithful servant, and that, you were working for Jesus. I realized that wasn't true. I was actually working for Marlene, but oh, we've got more. It's funny how they come in waves. Isn't that weird? We haven't had any a few minutes talking about the trolls. But yeah, I look back and I'm like, God, we were taken for a ride. Duncan worked so hard on that building. He had it looking beautiful. Now it's changed hands. This old 1700s inn that was just gorgeous, and now it's falling in. But the inn is falling in. But yeah, I mean, it's nice to be able to be on the other side and be able to, they talk about the fruit of your labors, right? To be able to do stuff for yourself and not to feel selfish. And there's still times when I do feel selfish. What do you guys think about that? Like, do you feel like guilty for doing, or is that just like a Christian thing? I don't know, or a culty thing, like feeling guilty for even enjoying life. That was something that we were made to feel very, very, guilty for. That we were supposed to be sacrificing, we were supposed to be having fun. And then Marlene would turn around and be like, why are you so down? Like, you're supposed to have the joy of the Lord. And I'm like, well, I don't know. And then I'm thinking, she has the joy of the Lord because we do everything. We wait on her hand and foot, Hey, I'm going to read that comment. Monty, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I got your last name, McMahon. I'm very proud of you for all you have done and continue to do. Amazing. I found you through Aaron. I am here for all things culty. I have a friend who is, the Seventh-day Adventist. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, we have that here not too far away. I know they're vegetarians, right? I've heard they're pretty culty. And I know that like David Koresh came out of the Seventh-day Adventist. Is that how they say it? I just remember someone telling me they're really, really strict. Duncan's one of his best friends growing up. His dad was a Seventh-day Adventist minister, and he remembers they went to school, or they went to church on Saturdays. They were really, really strict. And now his friend, whose father was a minister, he's wild. He's like totally thrown that off. I think he's got like some substance abuse issues, which isn't, it's too common. I'll just put it that way. It's just way too common. He said, no, being selfish means taking care of yourself. It is important to take care of yourself to fill your own batteries before you can help others. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a hard lesson to learn, but I've gotten to that point where I'm trying to do more self-care. And honestly, guys, even what has happened, in the past week or so, I'm like, you know what? I gotta take care of myself, and I decided I was just gonna reevaluate, and I'm not going anywhere, in the sense that I'm still here for anybody that wants to bother with me still, or listen, or talk to me. That's fine. But yeah, I'm just kind of branching off on my own and doing my own thing as well, and it does feel really good. Not that anybody put that on me. It's just, something I expected of myself, and now I'm just letting myself be myself, right? Okay. It's so hard to follow this. I'm not used to. I still feel guilty, Constance, when I'm not doing something, when I'm just resting, that idle saying, yep, idle hands at the devil's workshop. No, I mean, I guess that can be true, but if you need the rest, sometimes I just to crochet to relax, and it's been the best thing for me. Sharona, I suffered from Catholic guilt. Yes, I've heard a lot about that too. When I was a teen, as I grew up, I was having a lot of fun. I was determined to set it aside and enjoy life. It took practice, no doubt, but it can be done. Yep. You don't want that Catholic guilt. Yeah. Oh, Montsy. Okay. Thank you, Montsy. I like that. I will try to remember that. They have their own entire town. Which one are we talking about? Which cult are we talking about? Rando works too. Rando's asking weird questions. Yes. Yeah, that was interesting. Very interesting. Okay. That's funny. What else did I have on here? Yeah, there seems to be a lot of similarities to different cults. There's a lot of SA that happens. There's a lot of cover-ups of crimes. The financial stuff, like that was definitely in my cult. It was you were expected to give not just 10%. You were expected to give pretty much everything. Everything that you didn't absolutely need, like nothing essential, then yeah, you were expected to basically hand it over. And luckily, I don't know if I say luckily, yes, there wasn't any SA that I know of that went on, but there was still a type of abuse that I see with cults. It seems to be, extremes, right? One extreme or the other. And one extreme we've seen is the SA, the child SA, the oppression, and even assaults and all that. But also on the flip side, we were like celibate and ascetic, and had to suppress even our your sexual desires, your hunger, everything. Suppress everything about yourself, all your humanity, everything that made you human, and you had to give it over and just have that group think. So it's good to be broken out of that. I want to write down, and I don't know if Giorgio wants me to talk about it, but he's been helping me write down some things that are like my story that may be made into a book at some point. And thank you, Giorgio. He's awesome. And taking the streams that I did with Doug and also the video I did with Kelly and putting them into chapter form and essay form, and then we'll see how we can transform it. And I want to think about some more actual stories, like antidotes that you can all read and maybe listen to. And yeah, he is a gem. He's a sweetie pie. Yeah, thank you. Monty, I worry about my goddaughter who is being indoctrinated into the Adventist bowl. Yeah. Yeah, that is not good. Not good. I just got to keep my eye on the time. Seventh-day Adventists run a whole city and university. It does have a wonderful hospital, however, for children, but they are culty and so judgmental. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Very much so. Yeah. George, my middle name is Edward. That's cool. If I remember correctly, it was started by a cornflake guy, no meat, no caffeine, a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, well, is it the Mormons that can't drink coffee or tea? I'm not sure I can't remember. I think there was a story behind that, but I don't actually remember what that was about. Sorry, I'm just reading my notes here. Yeah, I was thinking a lot about how these new cases that are coming up, that it gives me hope that the FBI seems to be getting involved in some of these allegations, doing appeals, worldwide appeals for people to come forward and tell their story and report the crimes that have happened to them, and the SA even as a child. And one good thing that I've heard from the watching the news in the Omaha, Nebraska field office of the FBI has said that even if something has happened in this, well, they're talking about the 2x2 cult in particular that they're investigating, allegedly 800 plus predators. They said that not to worry about the statute of limitations, because even if it can't be even if they can't be charged, it can help with the investigations of others that maybe can. So far, this man, I forgot his last name, is a very wild last name, but I did a stream on it last week. But he was sentenced to 120 years in prison. And isn't that what Keith Raniere was sentenced to? So I'm pretty sure. But and NXIVM wasn't even a religion, but the 2x2 is. So I'm glad that they're actually investigating this stuff, because I know that the fact that some of these cults are also parading themselves as religion has given them way too much protection. So, oh, sorry about all the trolls. Yeah, I won't stay on too long. I know some of you say you like to whack the trolls, but I feel bad. Linda Reese, what am I missing? Mormons are very much like, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't watched Shalise in a while. Love her channel. I keep forgetting. I'm pretty sure I know I have to be subscribed. I must just not get her notifications. I don't know why. Oh yeah, your anniversary was yesterday, right, Joel? Happy anniversary. Tell your wife happy anniversary. That's awesome. Oh, you gave her a cameo? Ah, I bet she loved that. That's so nice. That's so great. I love it. Okay, looking to turn on music, please. Okay, that ain't gonna happen. Okay, I think the last point I had that I wanted to make was leaving a cult, or leaving a difficult relationship, leaving a club, or anything that you are involved in. Sometimes it's necessary to just cut your losses, because I was thinking about that. It's like some things you can leave, like non-culty organizations, where you can still have contact with people and they're still nice to you and they don't shun you. Like I was at my boys' gig. They had a gig a couple weeks ago, and the church that we used to go to had a dinner in the same restaurant that night. They had like a little gathering, and it just so happens that Duncan and I went up to the salad bar at the same time that this party from the church were lining up to go on the salad bar too. So I had several people say hi to me and being like, my boys were actually playing music in real time at that point. And they're like, oh, your boys sound great. And it was just very relaxed. And it wasn't like, where have you been? Why aren't you in church? And I pretty much told them, I bumped into a few of them that are, like what they call witnesses, like people that witness a lot, and people that are like really into getting you to come back to church. But they know now that I'm not interested anymore. I pretty much told them that. And they're not treating me like crap or shunning me or making me feel like I'm going to hell because theirs is the only church. If I told them that I was going to another church, they would probably be fine about it, But if you run into people that think that their church is the only church, their truth is the only truth, definitely watch out. And I can't remember who it was on our last stream talking about how to help shield young people from getting into cults. And like I said, I would love to see more education, even in the schools, like say, junior and senior year, because a lot of those kids are not quite adults yet, are going into university type situations, and some in the workplace and wherever they end up, and they can be fall prey to these cults. And I've seen it. Like there was one in upstate New York. I forget, it was like, is it Sarah something Lawrence or something college, at some kind of college. And it was it was these kids that were roommates, and one of the girls' father moved in and basically just started a cult in their little apartment with all of the college kids. It just got so horrible and disgusting, and they were like completely brainwashed. I mean, the abuse was just unbelievably horrible. And I couldn't help but thinking while I was watching that, I was like, where are their parents? What is going on? It's just insane. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember if anybody can look it up. You watched that? Yeah, that was horrible. I forget the name of it. I'll have to go back and watch it. I do want to kind of go back and watch some of these documentaries and maybe do some streams on them, because there were so many that we basically just scratched the surface of. And I think taking like the bite model and some of the guidelines that we know that are most cults have those characteristics, I would really like to re-examine those and do more of a deeper dive and a comparison of them. Their parents were sending them money. Well, yeah, they probably had to, because he was taking their money. He was assaulting some of them. He was so nasty. I remember seeing some clips of they filmed some of his raging fits. It was just, it was horrible. Remember that? Must have watched a documentary. Yeah, they do have, forgot the name of it. Oh, it's been a while. Stolen Youth, Inside the Cult. Sarah Lawrence, yes. Yeah, Stolen Youth. And that's true, yeah. Documentary, one of the students has also written a book. Oh, wow. Do you know where it can be streamed and watched? If you Google it, a lot of times it'll say, or if you just Google like watch Stolen Youth, it'll have like a list of how you can watch it. Look into Sherry Shriner. Write that down. Sherry Shriner as well. Okay. Oh, I'm in Australia. It's a different by country. Gotcha. Yeah. The streaming platforms and services are just crazy. It's like so hard to know, and I don't want to have 4 or 5 of them all at once, but I don't want to miss the cult documentaries. Oh, Sarah Lawrence documentaries on Hulu. Okay. Is Hulu available in Australia? I'm not sure. Thanks, I'll go look for it. Saw a few years back. Yeah, I want to see that again. Definitely. Yeah, I used to do some of these deep dives with Clearwater Chad and some other guests. We had Kelly Copter once. We had Vanessa LaRose. I'll have to ask her. I'll have to ask them if they want to do some more. I love those. No Hulu. Aw, that sucks. We have Hulu, don't have a sub for it. Yeah, I wonder if it could be rented. Because some of those, I think you could just straight up rent them. But I'm not sure. But yeah, I really hesitate. I wish I could actually just play some of them and do a little bit of do a review as I play them. But we tried that. Kelly and I tried that with A Distant Thunder, and it was this movie from the 70s, like the late 70s, and nope, it actually caught our stream. Some of you might remember that. Our stream was actually taken down midstream, and it was, thankfully I didn't get a copyright strike or anything, but no. And it's like, these are Christian people, and this movie is 40 something years old, and they won't let you watch it or review it. It's just crazy. And I could tell they scrubbed the comments too, as on that video that we did watch, you look at the comments and everybody's like, I can't wait for Jesus to come back. And I'm like, this movie is traumatizing and scary and horrible, and it like ruined my life practically for many years. I just can't believe that people are like, oh, this is great, I love this movie, it's my favorite movie. People are nuts. Like, I just can't even. I have to find my Hulu password. Yeah, I had to, I think, I'm not sure if Hulu does this, but so many times I have to just like put my phone number in and have them give me the code. It's on 100 sticky notes. I finally started putting those into my phone because oh my God, I have so many passwords, just crazy. And I'm still waiting. Oh, so I think I told you that Duncan's taking a trip with his brother to Alaska. And about a week or two ago, I did a stream. I think it was called Ripping Off the Band-Aid, doing estate planning. Because I've really put it off. And I know that, like, well, you know, Duncan, he does some risky things. Like, he's going to the Arctic Circle. He might actually fly over the Arctic Circle. And I'm like, don't, you better not go before we get that book for you to fill out, the fuck I'm dead book, you know? And it's kind of, it's been easier to like joke about it because it's just kind of unthinkable. But at the same time, you know, I mean, I guess death is part of life. So I don't know how I got into that, but oh, about the passwords and everything. Yeah, there's a page for that. There's a page for, you know, where the body's buried now, where like your important papers are. Yeah, there's a lot of things in there, and I think it would be good for our kids someday. My daughter got me a password book for Christmas. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I would be scribbling them out. I just put them in my notes on my iPhone, and then I try to remember to change them. Yeah, my ex-husband passed away. My daughter asked me to do. Yeah, the one I ordered, not here yet. It says like the cover. It's just like trying to make light of it because it is a hard thing to talk about and to think about. But it says something like, it's your problem. Sorry, it's like, sorry, it's your problem now because I died. And then you open it and it says, fuck, I'm dead. And like, what happens next or something like that. This is crazy. Hey, Monsi, thank you for your stream. It's 10 a.m. here. I need to go and get some stuff done. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Oh, boy. I'll try to get rid of that. I don't know how. I'm trying, guys, to help with the trolls. Sorry about that. I'm gonna wind down soon because I gotta leave in about 10 minutes. So yeah. You need to link to buy that. Yeah, I'll send that to you. Yeah. It's funny, like now the trolls came in again. It's very weird that they just gotta come and go all the time. It's just wild. But yeah, thank you, mods. I'm sorry about that. I like to do the vertical streams sometimes because I know the algorithm likes it. And now that I'm trying to do like branch out and do some other cults and all that I just put it out there. And if anybody can hit the like button, that'd be great. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. So we're gonna keep talking about all things culty, you know. So yeah. I guess I will leave it there. Thank you again, everyone that joined me, and we'll see about tomorrow. I'm not sure. I might be on in the morning, but I do have to leave by noon, so that should be fun. Going to a Christmas party, which is kind of weird, but anyways, guys, thank you so much. We will talk to you soon. Have a great night.